Another one. Another one. Another one. Another one.
What's going on, guys? Logan JYA here with my boy CJ Daniels, who went undefeated at locals today with branded. You know, not my favorite deck, that's for sure, but we're going to check out this list so you guys are informed on one of the best ways to play one of the most powerful strategies in the current format. CJ, before we get started, any shout outs you want to give?
Shout out to Logan JYA. Loganja, as he is in my phone. Shout out to him and his channel, his community. Shout out to the hobby shop. Shout out to everyone who I got to play today and everyone I come to see every Saturday. Let's get started.
All right, let's go into it.
I don't know why I snap a lot. Anyway, main deck. We're gonna start off with 3 Fallen Albez.
Of course.
I feel like if you're not playing 3, you're at a very large disadvantage because a lot of the times I want to open this.
Yeah.
There's more cards that facilitate me having this, but I feel like his effect's really good.
Yep.
And in the cash format, this kind of helps you deal with the going into their board.
Right,
Like
and if one gets banished, you want to have more copies available.
that as well. You need this card to play.
Yes.
Like, unfortunately, but next, play DESPIA cards. Play 3 Aliber, 1 Tragedy, and people are crazy for cutting this card.
Yeah, why would they cut that?
They're more inclined on like, oh, I'm gonna use power spells and stuff like that to stop my opponent. When I'm just like, this is probably one of the strongest cards out of Despia, except for Aliber maybe himself. You have to play this because it searches your Aliber or your Adlib, but this pretty much like guarantees you kill if you open weak. Like if you open a weak hand, like where you just resolving Branded Fusion and you don't have any Bystials or anything else, like this says you have a Mirror Jade plus Guardian Chimera, which is kind of wild in its own.
Yes.
So, we only play the 5. That's all I really need. We play 2 Mercurier. I want to bump this to 3. Right. I have yet to figure out how I'm going to bump this to 3. I may just go up in card count, but I don't even know what I'm at anymore. I think I'm like 41 or 42. This card is crazy. If you open it, it's a monster negate while you're playing into anything, which everyone's playing Nib right now. So Nib kind of sucks, but at the same time it doesn't, because it's like, I mean, it clears your board and you don't have your or anything, but you could set up for it.
Right.
So it's all right. Our 1-0s, we play 1 Albion and 1 Blazing Cartesia.
Do you think 1 Cartesia is enough?
So I think 1 Cartesia is enough. If I had 2, I'd probably be playing 2, but I'm 4. And so far, I mean, I haven't really had the problem where if this got banished, it was like that big a deal. Because usually if I'm playing against Kashtira and they're realizing they're playing against my deck, they go into the double Shangri era and just shut off everything and I just lose. But other than that, usually, I mean, 1 is really all you need and you recycle it. So, and then same thing with Albion. Something you want to see. If you open it, you open it. You don't. But you always see it through your main Brandon combo. So, or one of your big Brandon combos.
Gotcha.
We are playing a bigger Bystial package.
Yeah, it's pretty good against Drytron.
It is very good against Drytron. Seeing 1 or 2 of these against Drytron pretty much wins. But then again, it is Drytron, unfortunately. Like, if you don't see anything, you're usually dead. So, so I believe that playing a bigger package is better because I am playing cards in the deck that go with this package that are also considered interruptions. Seeing Lubellion itself, like Lubellion 1, he's just a big beefy monster. You can send him off Branded Fusion. If you draw him, he's insane. Having these as well, yeah, they're not the greatest against cash, but if you open up crazy where you open like Branded Fusion, Lubellion, and like even any other Bystial, you could set up with the trap plus like a Druid Worm. If you get Magnemite, it's just crazy.
Now,
and I think this letting you, like, lets you continuously play without branded or without seeing your fusion cards.
I have to ask, you're not playing Baldrake. Do you miss that one at all?
I've actually never played with that card. I think that card sucks because it never comes up, and I also don't have room for it.
Fair enough.
So if I did more testing with it, I'd probably cut something for it, but I feel like this is important because you need 3 Sarnier. These just search everything, and this comes up if you play the trap. And then Lubellion's Lubellion. If you're not playing 3 of this, I think you're insane. Like, this searches all of this, and it's just a body that comes back every time.
Yeah, sometimes Baldrake, he puts up an additional interruption, and it makes it awkward to play into a board, especially if that's the public knowledge bestial you have in hand. It can make the opponent play very weird. Yeah. But hey, worth more testing in the future. But right now, this is what rocked with, and this is what worked. Let's continue.
The last card we play that's not engine is 3 Nibiru. You need something going second against Kashtira. And I mean, it's like I said, it's not bad against the mirror match, and it's not bad at, like, going into boards because it's like, one, this will always be like a rogue killer. Sprite has to play weird to deal with this or play around it, which they can do. Brandon cannot play around this unless they search McCurrier, but then you get the McCurry out, and then you get Super Poly and kill him pretty much with your own engine itself.
Right.
And then this against Kashtira can be a blowout if it's played right.
Correct.
So that's it for the monsters.
Yep.
The spells, you play 3 Brandon Fusion.
Of course.
The bread and butter of the deck. I'm very surprised they actually didn't touch this at all.
Hey, hopefully soon it gets hit because I'm sick and tired of this deck. But that's just me.
I guess because it kind of has a really good matchup against, like, a decent matchup against Kashtira if it's played right. So as long as you're playing this right against Kashtira, you should be winning.
Unless all your zones are locked.
Yeah, unless you get ashed like 300 times, like at the YCS Vegas. Shout out to Couch and all of them who won, by the way. Silverman. So played 3 opening as well.
Yep.
Our winners, we play 1 Brandon in white,
Yep.
1 Brandon lost,
Yep.
1 Brandon in red,
Yep.
and 1 Brandon regained.
I think all this is pretty standard. The regained is especially important with the bestials, right?
Yeah, so this comes up with the bestial. It's not even just the bestial itself, but your Brandon combo, how you play. If you open this with Brandon Fusion, you always get a free draw out of it.
Right.
Anytime a Layered Dark Spanish, which is your entire deck is Layered Dark, you can get a draw off of it. And if you have Bystials in graveyard, you can always reborn them with this if a monster is summoned. And I mean, there's really not to explain except for this one, which this is like your Miracle Fusion.
Right.
If you have, you have to fuse using a dragon, I believe it says. Yeah, you have to fuse it with, including a dragon monster. So you could still fuse into anything, but you need to summon a dragon, which is why I also play a higher Bystial count because I always want to be able to see that dragon.
Right.
I know Fallen of Alves is a dragon, but sometimes I don't always want to use the Fallen of Alves himself. I'd rather use something else.
Right.
So this is just another Brandon Fusion. It's a Miracle Fusion for the deck, like how Heroes has their Miracle Fusion.
Gotcha.
Miracle Fusion.
Have you ever won a second red?
No. You only ever want to see one. I hardly ever want to see it anyway.
Fair. Just want to search it.
Yeah. And the last spell we play is 3 Super Poly.
How was this? I know you were very back and forth on this card.
I hate Wilson. Because he every time I tell him this card's bad, he comes up with like a 9-paragraph essay on like why this card's crazy, and then I have to sit there and be like, I don't know, and then I actually try it again because I'm stubborn, and then it finally works, and I'm like, all right, well now I have to play this.
So you're happy
shout
with
out
it,
to Wilson as well. But yeah, this also it's just good against cash. It helps with because you could just set Fallen of Alves, and then you could just Super Poly, like straight up send Fallen Alves, send something else, and you just crack a board.
Yeah, that works.
I've done that I think twice today, where I set a Felon of Alves and I Super Polyed away everything. So, but other than that, that's it for the spells. We are playing 4 traps. We play 1 Retribution, 1 Branded Beast, 1 Banishment, and 1 Expulsion. So these 3 are standard. This is really not. You need an explanation on these cards. These cards are crazy. This comes up a lot more where I just want to set it on my field instead of just send it to the graveyard because it's a negate.
Yeah.
It's a rising, which Brandon, like some other decks, don't have negates. So, I mean now they do because of their extra deck, but this helps a lot.
Yes.
We are main decking Expulsion. We are not main decking Ra's Disciple because you don't want to draw a brick going second. So where at least this, like in your main deck, depending how if you open where it's just Brandon Fusion with no Bystials, nothing, you could at least Brandon Expulsion, so it stops the Kashtira if you do know your matchup. Just being able to use this as well, like it evenly matches in the main deck in a lot of main decks right now. So if they go battle phase, you're like, cool, start a battle step, activate Brandon Expulsion, send something, give them a monster.
Ah, yeah.
So it's like now they lost their battle phase. If they're playing Kashtira with evenly, they just pretty much lost because now they have a monster on field. They need Birth and a normal summon, and like this card is just annoying to deal with as well.
Gotcha.
So that's it for the main deck. If I remember correctly, it was like 40 something,
Yeah.
41, 42. I hope it was over 40. Now we go to the extra deck. Extra deck is pretty standard for the most part. We are playing 2 Lebellion, 2 Albion, and then 2 Mirror Jade.
And they all have to be 2 of just because of cash, pretty much, right?
So, fun fact, you really don't need 2 of this because this is your better one. I don't know the exact play style with it where you only really need 1 where this always comes up or something else comes up, or like the other combos you can do, because I've just been testing certain wise and it hasn't come up where I've lost this or I haven't needed this. But you in theory you could really only use 1. Like you don't need 2. I just use 2 as a safety net, but that's just me. I'm a little bit of a loser, I don't tell you. We play 1 Garua for Super Poly stuff.
Yep. And drawing is nice.
And drawing is nice sometimes. Usually just sticks on the field. We play 1 Cordis and 1 Mirror Jade. Oh my god. 1 Masquerade.
Yep.
If I wish I could play more of this, but I don't really have the room outside of maybe cutting like a Garua. But this is also for Super Poly. Because having 2 of these on field against a lot of decks right now just helps burn and kill, which is like a big issue with the deck. Not really a big issue, but like being able to like make your opponent really think harder when they really shouldn't have to.
Right.
And then Cordis, you could summon off another extra deck monster. So, and then he makes everything 0, and then he can summon Fallen Abyss.
Right.
They're needed. That's pretty much it. Hey, look, another super poly target, Mudragon.
Yep.
Don't know why it's in there, but it's in there. Dragostapelia. This is really mandatory at this point. Having a negate, changing the level of something, like this helps a lot.
Yep.
Owlenitus helps you get your other fusion. Sorry, this guys really wasn't in order, but it's just kind of more important.
Yeah.
Usually you send the Owlenitus. This also helps you beat dragons and any dragon list. So when we get the new support with like the Apple Dragon stuff, like this will definitely come up a lot more.
Yes.
And then we play 2 of the new cards. So Rinbrum and Dust Dragon.
Yep.
This is part of your main combo if you open Branded Fusion and a Bystial, which specifically with either you need to be Lubellion or Saronir to get the full actual like juicy combo. But Rinbrum himself is our one real kind of negate. Like I was saying before, he's a negate for an extra deck monster, and he's part of your combo, which also, this is what summons your Cordis.
Right.
So you could still play Prostinian, which I haven't really tested with yet, but it is another option that you can use depending on the deck. But banishing stuff from the graveyard isn't really like crazy right now.
Gotcha.
And then our last card, Guardian Chimera, which is like the
One of
reason
the
why
best
I love
going
this
second cards.
Card's crazy. Just not even going second, but it's like going into a board like this card's just insane.
Yes.
For the side deck, we are siding the One Rod's Disciple. This just helps lock out a lot of decks. We
Very powerful combo.
We are playing Necro War Banshee and Zombie World. We have to play this. We have to respect birds still because that deck's kind of scary. Harpy's Featherstorm is a ridiculous card. Stopping monster effects for a turn is insane.
And at this card shop, we do have a few.
Yeah, we do have a few Flunder. 3 talents in the side. These usually go in whether I'm going first or second. Unless I know they're not playing hand traps, and I really won't put these in. But
also amazing against cash for stealing the Rise Hearts.
yes, stealing cash is crazy. 3 Cosmic. Probably could be a Twin Twister, but I just chose to play Cosmic because I was a little scrapped for time and I didn't really know what to play. So I was like, you know what, I'm just going to play this. And it does come up when I see it. Like, I usually hit something important.
Also better against Runic. Cosmic.
Yes, it's also good for Runic, exactly. Then we play 3 D-Barrier and 3 Evenly for our traps. Yep. Evenly is insane. I wish I could put this in the main deck. I don't have the room for it. D-Barrier is also insane. This is a win more card, but it also says you can kind of play into hand traps if you really want to, if you have this, because then you're like, all right, I'm going to stop my opponent for a turn. But yeah, that's it for the deck.
All right, CJ, thank you so much. As always, that's all I got today, guys. Logan signing off. Have a great day. I'll see you all later. Peace.